Good morning, good afternoon, somewhere. Welcome back to Horse Racing Today with the ever handsome Hollywood Hay. Of course, your humble host, myself, HRT Rich. Terry's all jubilant today. He got his happy pills with the 49ers winning yesterday.
Not only winning, but crushing the other team.
Doesn't even have any respect for the other team. Doesn't even know their names. They're just the other team.
Oh, I don't know, with the Ravens, I guess, right?
I think they played the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars, in Florida.
Yeah, how was your weekend otherwise?
Oh, it was really good. Kids came over, watched the game with us, and then on Saturday, my wife and I, we went out to lunch, had a good time. So it was a good weekend.
Yeah, I went to Metallica Friday night, went to the casino Saturday night, and went to golf yesterday. So it's been an active weekend. I'm pretty tired. Hopefully, though, not too tired to find some winners today at Parx. But before we get going with that, Terry, tonight you're going to join Sean and sorry for yelling in the microphone a little bit there. Horse Center tonight. I think Sean with Betty Joe again tonight, or maybe Lucy. I'm not 100% sure. He sent me a text. I couldn't find it before we get started because I don't know where I put my phone, unfortunately. I'll find it, though, before I need it. Again, though, I do know that it'll start at 8 p.m. tonight, Terry, and not miss the show. And I think this is going to be an interesting show because the lady that's going to be on, Margot Hudson, what she does is she flies these horses all across the country, the top horses. So how they fly them, the kind of care they take for them. And, it's kind of an insight you're probably not getting anywhere else. And to make sure you don't miss that insight, Terry, what do you do?
Oh, you need to subscribe on YouTube and hit the little bell. That bell will tell you when all of our programs start. Go down and click on the link below to share it. Share it with your family and friends. Give us a likes and thumbs up. Go to our Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Twitter is, I guess, X now. TikTok.
It does Bryant now.
Yeah, Threads and Instagram, and give us likes and thumbs up there. So that's what you need to do.
Absolutely. Another thing you need to do today, if you're going to play Remington Park free track today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. If you see, there's a link in the description below here on YouTube, as well as on our social sites and over on horseracingtoday.net. Make sure you head over to that website. A lot of good content over there as well. Click on that link, and then you get some free picks every single day at Remington Park, including in the first race today. If I'm all logged in, I am. Freeport, 4-1. How about that as your first favorite? And in race 2, the number 4 horse. So maybe a 4-4 double, Terry, as the 4 is a best bet in race number 2.
Looks good.
You ready to do race number 1 at Parx today?
Let's do that.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Well, it's 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a $7,500 claiming race with a purse of $21,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
All right. Well, we got a couple of these 1 mile and 70 yarders to get the day started, or the week started in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. We do know that in 1 mile and 70 yards, early speed, like Parx usually early speed does work. 29% of the time, the horse that gets the lead stays on the lead, and that's the ticket to the winner's circle. Get a little bit of a small rail bonus for the 1 horse total discretion, and then 2 and out. Those post positions play fair. So pretty fair in terms of the post position, no real advantage, maybe a slight one for the 1 horse. We do 1,000 simulations, Terry, using speed figures to calculate which horses have the best chance of winning, create our own odds off of that. The lower the odds, well, not necessarily the lower the better, but what we're hoping to find is that when the horse goes to post, that its odds are higher than our post odds. Par plus, that lets you know the percent of a chance the horse has to run a speed figure above the average winning speed figure for the conditions. Of course, lead is pretty straightforward. The percent chance the horse will have the lead, and based upon our projected pace for 1,000 races, our own exclusive C-zone, how comfortable that horse will be with how fast they are going, the higher the number, the better. Terry, what does all the green, white, and red say to you?
Wow, look at that number 2, Debbie Surprise. Look at that, how much speed that horse has. So she should get there to that quarter pole first unless she has some kind of problems. The 1 has a nice little overlay from, what is that? 2 to 5 or something?
1 to 2, yeah.
Yeah, 1 to 2 to about 6 to 5, 7 to 5, somewhere around there. That's the only overlay I see. The par numbers, the 1 and the 6 show pretty dark good par numbers. And then the 2, 5, 1, and 4 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things we've seen here before. Horse with a big shot to get to the lead that's tied for the top C zone. They tend to do very well. We also want to look at the pace setup. There's a lot of pace handicappers out there. How does the race look? Well, you got a little bit of speed on the front with the chaser in the middle and 3 closers. So that shape typically favors horses with a little bit of early speed. Of that early speed, again, we do see that Debbie Surprise, that 2-horse, Terry, 8 points clear of Pop the Champagne. So that 2-horse should be the one that they all have to pass at some point. 8 points equals about a length and a half on the lead, Terry. On the inside, too, no problem clearing the 1. 2 should be your leader. Does need to show a little bit more late legs because it has faded pretty badly. In the end, the 1-horse, the 6-horse, and the 3-horse, they'll be all coming with the most pace at the end. The 6-horse being a pressure horse, so could get a really good trip in there, Terry. Looking at the total pace figures, Fast Mule. Is there such a thing? But anyway, if there is one, it does get the top total pace here. Total discretion, and then, well, the 2, the 5, the 1, and the 6, a little bit better than the 4 and 3. So that 4 should produce your winner, Terry. What do you think?
I like Fast Mule, the 6. She won her last race at Delaware Park. She has the highest last race speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 33% with claim repeaters, and she switches to high percent winning jockey. Number 1, Total Discretion. My second pick drops in class today. The Rail Post is winning an 18% clip. She has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days have won 3 out of 4 starts with a second. And she has a high percentage winning trainer, or jockey, I mean. Then number 2, that fast speedster, Debbie's Surprise, is my third pick. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 19% of the claiming races. He has a horse entered in. And then I like number 5, my long shot, Pop the Champagne Row. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race and drops in class today. I'm going to play a $1 daily double, the 1-2-6 with the 2-3-7.
Good morning, Richard De La Torre. How are you today, my friend? Good to see you again. I like the 1-horse in here. Total Discretion, Terry. That's something we have over the tracks that we do. We would greatly appreciate some input. And like Richard, you have some comments, kindly put them over there in the comment section. If you have any picks at any track today, any handicapping angles, things that are working, just thoughts in general. You saw a show on the weekend or a movie you think other folks ought to go see. Put all that in the comment section. You know, it's more than horse racing. Total Discretion is going to drop in class here, Terry. Getting a weight break could help as well. Does have a pretty good workout between races, so I think you're going to see an improvement off that last start. Big overlay there, too. Debbie's Surprise, maybe too much early speed for the rest of these, as we saw in the simulations and the pace scenario. Number 6, Fast Mule, third after a layoff. Comes in from Delaware. Third race in the cycle. One of them was really good. Big improvement off the second one, and one was really good, really poor regression. So 50-50 on how that horse responds today. Finally, Pop the Champagne Row. This one should be part of the early mix and maybe have a little bit more late endurance today. I'm going to do a $1 exacta key box with the 1. I meant to make this the 2. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know why I did that because I wanted to go with that speed horse just in case it got out to the lead and stayed out there at a better price. So I meant to go 2, 1, 5, and 6. So forgive me, but fortunately, Google Sheets lets us edit on the fly, Terry.
That's right. That's good.
Indeed. So go ahead.
Glad you did it before the race is over.
Well, I'm probably going to regret doing it now. The 1-horse is probably going to win, right?
Yeah, well, as long as the 2 runs second, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good to go with that.
5 or 6, I mean.
Well, no, the 2 would have to run second if the 1 won, because that's the key box thing there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right now, your 6-horse is the 1-to-1 favorite, so that's the one, and we got they're heading into the post. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the race. I would also recommend, I don't know if you're Metallica fans or not, but their tour is over. Next year, just a couple of stops in the U.S., one in Foxborough. So if you live towards Boston or one in Chicago, I'll be there. So if you're going to be there, make sure you let me know. We'll catch up beforehand. And then maybe I'll go up to St. Paul after that. It's off to other places of the world. Giannis Chai 4, 11 equals 13 equals 14 equals 15 times race 6, 7, 6, 9, 7. Where are we doing that at, Jonas? Is that can you let us know what track that is and where the picks are for? We'd appreciate that. Tafum says hi from Turkey. Hey, Tafum, how are you today? Hope all is well over there today for you guys. Beautiful weather, beautiful people in Turkey for sure. All right, race 1 is off, Terry. And in race number 1, the 1-horse is the one that's on the lead right now, surprisingly. The 2-horse sitting right alongside. Maybe the 2-horse didn't want to go too fast, or the 1-horse didn't want to let it get out to the lead. So as they go through the turn, right now the 1 on the lead, the 2 in second place. The 6 at 3-5 is in third, but it's going to be forced to wide around the track. You have the 5-horse in there, that long shot, fourth on the rail. They went through the opening quarter maybe a little bit quickly, Terry, at 23.4 seconds. Big gap then back to the 3 and the 4. They come down the backstretch. The 1 continues to hold the lead, controlling the pace. The 2-horse sitting right there in second. The 6-horse, again, going to be forced 3 wide down the backstretch, Terry. That's a long way to go. It's going to have to absolutely be the best horse to run by them all. 5-horse, the long shot, closing up in there. The 1-horse at 2-1 continues to lead the way. The 4-horse in the back of the 2 horses in the back, starting to show a little bit of interest in closing. The 5-horse on the rail at the price looks like, Terry, it might be in there. My 2-horse, I probably should have left the 1 in there. I screwed that up because the 1-horse looks like it's going to finish in second, maybe first. The 6-horse looking between its legs. The 5-horse moving wide, Terry. Maybe we're going to get a bomb here on the opener, my friend.
You might, huh?
Yeah, I think we were going to get a price here that the 5-horse is going to win at 20-1. Should have put the 5 in the exact key box.
Yeah, I should have done 4 horses in this race on a double.
Yeah, you should have. Well, the 1-horse didn't finish second anyway, but you're going to get the 5-horse. 6-horse is trying to make a game of it here at the end, but I don't know if he's going to catch him or not. It's going to be, yep, you got a 20-1 shot. 5, 6, and 1. Should have just boxed the trifecta there, Terry, for both of us.
Yeah.
And you would have gotten paid fatly.
That would have done good, huh?
Well, at least we had him in our picks, right?
That's right. And it was our long shot. So, and I noticed that our long shots do really well most of the time. So,
yeah, I mean, 20-1 over the 3-5 over the, I mean, it's going to pay because the 6 won, but I'm sure it'll probably be a disappointing pay because you have the 2 favorites right behind it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably did something along those lines. What's up, Jared? Same old stories. Cowboys whip losers, and my team come playoffs will choke again. I can only laugh. The team that surprised me is Browns upset a divisional game last week. Big one right there. Hello, I'm not Turkish. I'm Kurdish. Okay. I thought you were from Turkey, Tafum. My bad. Good evening. I hope you are well. We hope you are well, too. All right. Off to race number 2 is what we're going to do next. In race number 2, Terry, again, they're going to run 1 mile and 70 yards, and we saw a horse basically right and win right there, although the horses up front minus the 2-horse stayed up front. So what's going to happen in race number 2?
Well, this is 1 mile and 70 yards, as you said. It is a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price with a purse of $18,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since May 13th.
Again, briefly, at 1 mile and 70 yards, early speed tends to do well. 29% of the time, they go wire to wire. Small rail bonus. Didn't see the run hang on there. 2+ out fair. Really no advantage to any post position, Terry. Once again, we have all of our simulations. We saw, look at that, pop the champagne with that strong C-zone there, Terry. All right, so C-zone in play today. What's in play in race number 2?
Well, the 4 shows the most speed, although there are several in here that a couple of others that have speed, the 1 and the 3. So they may have something to say about it if the 4 stumbles coming out of the gate or something. The 4 has the nice overlay from about 6-5 or 7-5 to 10-1. And that's about the only overlay I see. And then the par numbers, the 1 and the 6 show the best par numbers. No, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong par numbers in there. All but the 1 and the 6. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. And then as far as the C-zones, you have the 6, 4, 2, 1, and 5. All of them but that number 3 horse shows some C-zone numbers.
Beyond $1 million, right? Maybe that's the one that we should focus on.
Yeah.
In race 2, our race shape, look at pretty balanced. I mean, it's perfectly balanced, absolutely symmetrical. A couple that want to be on the lead, a couple that want to be on the back, and a trio that want to be in the middle. So I'm forwardly placed, middle back. You can't get more symmetrical than that, Terry. So every race horse should get its trip here, Terry. Based upon that, the 4 horse should be your leader, maybe the 7. If it doesn't get the lead on the outside, bit discouraged, and then fades like we saw with the 2 horse there. In the late speed, Miss Loyalty and the 2 closers definitely have an advantage over everybody else, though they will be trailing behind of the 2. the 2 horse does have a better chance to be forwardly placed. So maybe you take the 2 if you want the closer over the 5. Our total pace scenario, Terry, it's a pretty competitive race between the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 7. Well, the 5's not all that far off either. Neither is the 6. Looks like the only one that's maybe way in over its head is the 1 horse. Hopefully that's not your top pick.
No, it's not. I like the number 7. I think it's Beat You by a Club or Chub and Nose.
Beat You by a Chub and Nose. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, she finished third versus similar in her last race, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The number 2, Manny Petty, likes the Parx Racing that she's been in the money 45% of the races, winning 17% of those starts at this track, and likes the distance, been in the money 68% of the races, and won 26% of the starts. Beyond a Million, the 3 as my third pick, finished 4th in her last race as a favorite, but has a trainer who wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and has a good workout on February 2nd. Number 5, my long shot, Miss Loyalty, finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, and she has a high percentage, highest speed figure at today's distance. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, the 2, 3, 7, with the 3, 4, 5, 6, with the single 6 in the 4th, and number 5th race is number 7 and 12.
So you asked Maesh Tiwari, thanks for joining us. The results in Philadelphia for race 1, that 5 horse won. Paid $43.60, Terry, not bad. So 6 horse came in 2nd, Fast Mule. The 1 horse 3rd, and then 4 came in 4th. Your Exacta paid $54.50, not bad. The 50-cent trifecta, Terry, even with the $43 horse on top, only paid $58.65. The 5614 for a dime, that superfecta paid $28.29. So those 2 short shots coming in 2nd and 3rd behind there making a difference. Jared saying over at Horseshoe Indianapolis today, race number 1, take the 2 with the 3-5 in an Exacta. And then Manny Petty, several times he's won with that one. He's got that. Have you ever had a Manny Petty, Terry?
One time, and I didn't like it. They cut my toe.
They cut your toe? I've never done it. Cut my own toenails way too short. I don't need anybody else to do it. All right, in race number 2 for me, I like the 4 horse. Summary judgment might not look like it on paper, but this one has a very strong chance to be forwardly placed, and very likely, according to its Stevie, to be better in the 2nd start after a layoff. Beyond a Million. That's where we all want our bank accounts to be, Terry. This horse is basically all or nothing at Parx. 21 times at the track, won 6 of them, has a 3rd in there. I think you're going to see a good race coming off of a Z pattern in its last. Again, Z pattern. You see the early pace numbers like 80, mid pace drops to 70, and then you see a second wind and the late pace number pop up again. Not necessarily 80, 70, 80, but just in that order, high, low, high. Number 2, my 3rd choice, Manny Petty. This one did show some early fraction improvement in its last race, and along with that, showed some pace improvement from the beginning to the middle to the end. That's almost always a sign of a horse that's coming into fitness. And the same story for the 7 horse. Beat You by a Chubby Nose. Chubby Nose, I think they're new fat nose. I guess that's what it means. It did hold its speed longer in its last race, and there's another one whose internals improved from start to finish. I'm going to do pick 4. I'm going to leave your 7 out, probably to my big regret, Terry. 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle, just like you, 6. So we're all the same there all the way to the end, except I added the 9 at the end of my pick 4 in the 2nd race. In race number 3, Terry, is where we're going to go next. Lucky number 3. What you got cooking for us here?
It's another mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race of $12,500 claiming price, $23,000 purse. It's for fillies and mares again, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Again, early speed makes a difference. A little bit of a rail edge for Royal Party, but not a whole lot, Terry. That's the track speed and post position bias in race number 3. If you're looking for a little bit of early speed, Terry, looks like the bunny is going to be the fastest of them all.
That's right. It shows a lot of speed, but that 3 might have something to say about it, as it shows some speed also. The 1 has an overlay from about 5.5 to 1 to 10 to 1, and the 4 has an overlay from close to even money to 3-1. The par numbers 6, 4, 5, and 1 show the best par numbers. And then as far as the C zones, all of them have good C zone numbers, but that 3 horse.
It's not appealing to the eye in that case. Look at right here, Terry. This 5 horse, Bunny Bonus. Strong chance to be on the lead. One of the best C zones. Good opportunity to be a par plus candidate in there. One you might want to keep an eye on in there. We both have them because Terry copied my picks again last night. Thank you, Terry. Our race shape shows us. Oh, look at this, Terry. This is one of those left-leaning triangles, really heavy to the speed up in the front. Better be the speed of the speed in that case, especially with these 2 horses in here in the middle. The speed of the speed belongs to that 3 horse, appealing to the eye, although that dark red over here on that late pace, Terry. Speaking of late pace, the 1 horse, Royal Party, does have the most late speed. Save Your Tears. Look at that collective gold, kind of way back there a little bit, Terry. So even though it's going to get a race shape that should really favor it, might not have the late legs to capitalize. Our total pace says Bonus Bunny. Royal, isn't that a rapper? Bonus Bunny? I know it's not a rapper. What's his name? Bad Bunny? Anyway, here you go. It looks like to me the only horse, the 4 and the 3 might be in a little bit of a difficult spot here, Terry, and I think we both have them in our picks.
Yeah, we sure do, but we'll have to wait and see. I like that 6, Save Your Tears, is my first choice. She finished in the money in 5 out of 6 of her last 6 starts, and she won with the last race and has the highest last race speed rating. Bunny Bonus, the 5 is my second pick. She's has a high percentage winning trainer. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The 4 Collective Gold, my third choice, comes in from Monmouth Park to try Parx Racing and drops in class today. And then number 3, Appealing to the Eye, my long shot. She won her last race at Parx Racing. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No bet for me in this race.
Well, as I mentioned, we have the same picks in the same order. I got the 6 horse on top, maybe for the same reasons you do, Terry, but did win its maiden claiming race last time out. Usually not a big fan of the horses coming off the maiden claiming win unless they run the top last race speed figure, and that's exactly what Save Your Tears did. All the race internals were better. Bunny Bonus running at her lowest level of her career and likely to be better in the second start after a layoff. And as we mentioned, all of that good data. Number 4, Collective Gold, is your lone closer, Terry. It is a class and track dropper, so maybe we see improvement on all those pace numbers. The only question for me is the horse has done almost all of its racing on turf. The couple of times it was on dirt, didn't fare so well. Appealing to the Eye, just ran her second best speed figure career-wise, and her resume says the second race after a layoff will be better than the first one, so maybe a career best on tap for Appealing to the Eye. I'm going to do a trifecta, 4, 5, 6 with the 5, 6 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in race number 3. Let's move forward to race 4, Terry.
All righty. Let me get there to where I'm supposed to be.
All right. Yeah,
I
was kind of quick on that one.
Yeah, you were.
You off guard.
Yep. Anyway, they're shortening it up to a mile in this one, and it's a $12,500 claiming race. Purse $23,000 for fillies and mares again, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
So a little bit different in terms of the bias of the track. Scratches have this race down to only 4 horses, so not so sure how those biases will play out. There is a small rail bonus, so maybe Titanic Rose can get an edge over the other 3 in here. Every other post position plays fair. If there were a 8 and out, they take a big hit. So early speed's going to be the way, Terry. I don't know if post position makes a difference. In race number 4, if early speed paves the way. Once again, Terry copying my picks, but if early speed takes the way, who's going to be on the lead?
Well, it looks like that 5 will to me. That's the only one that really shows any speed of the horses that are left. And that's the only one that has an overlay from 4-1 to 15-1. As far as the par numbers go, the 6 and the 5 have the best par numbers. And then all of them but the 3 show some kind of a C-zone number. So.
Yeah, this short field, get to the lead, 15-1. Again, when we had on Scott Fiedler, a gentleman who wins a ton of those contests, the horse tourneys, big money, he mentioned in these short fields, you take the longest priced horse into competition, and the 5 horse, you can make a case for it to win. Get to the lead, strong C-zone, and has a chance to go over par. The only other horse with that is the 6, and that one's going to be probably 3-5. As far as the limited race shape for this race is concerned, Terry, We didn't take the scratches out on this one. All right, don't matter. We have the 6, the 1, the 3, and the 5. 6, 1, 3, 5. So this one's not here. Delete.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right, my man. We can. This is the beauty of. There you go. So the 5 and the 6 are going to be up front. Which one of those two is the quicker of the one? It does look like it's a pretty even race between the two out. The 6 has maybe a half a step, although the 3 horse is going to be right on their tail, breathing hard as well. Late speed does belong to the 6 horse. Can't pass, but you can't catch, Terry. And finally, the total pace, the 6 horse is going to have a pretty big lead over everybody. Only 5 points over the 3, so that's not a big advantage. Looks like maybe only the 1 might be overmatched, but in a 4 horse race, there's no such thing as overmatched, Terry. How is it going to play out for you?
Well, I like the 6 Shell Bell. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1 Titanic Rose is my second choice, ran second versus Tougher in her last race. Drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Jolene, my third pick is the 3 horse. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 17% of the route races he's got a horse entered in. And so this horse can improve while returning to a route. Number 5, Bohemian Babe, is my long shot. Her early speed running style helps her chances, and she may improve while returning to a route. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to single the 6 and then go with the 7, 12, and then with the 3, 4, 6, and 8, and then with the 3, 12, and then I'm going to bet $10 to win on number 6.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about these short horses. We've seen at Parx way too many times where a horse like the 6 horse, top last race, speed figure by a landslide, Terry, did run better fractions last out, better pace numbers across the board. Every reason in the world to think this 6 makes a laugher out of this one. We've seen it many times where they finish second somehow. Titanic Rose, consistent performer, pretty good chance to be better in the second start after a layoff. Jolene could be involved from the early part of the race. Does have a maintenance workout between starts, so keeping that saw sharp, maybe a little more late race endurance today. And Bohemia Babe, her chances to get to the front, Terry, stay there from the beginning to the end. And according to the C-zone numbers and everything else, has a good shot to make that happen. I'm not going to do anything here, Terry, because I did single the 6 in my pick 4. But if it gets upset, I didn't want to go magnifying my losses. Plus, I wanted it to win for you. Because I'm that kind of guy. I'm willing to sacrifice for you, my friend.
All right.
What are we doing in race number 5?
All right. In this race 5, we're going to shorten up a little more to 6.5 furlongs. Claiming race 7,500 with a purse 21,000. Again, for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
All right. At 6.5 furlongs, a new distance, as you mentioned, Terry. Early speed, 33, a third of them. Go gate to wire. Small inside edge for the 3 horses on the inside. 4 through 7 get a bit of a discount. 8 and out, play fair. So you want inside or outside, Terry, preferably horses with some giddy up and go. In race number 5, there's plenty of horses on the outside, and one does have a little bit of giddy up and go.
Yeah, but several of them show some speed, so it's really going to be hard to determine who's going to get to that quarter pole first. We'll just have to wait and see. But that 4 has a nice overlay of about 5-1 to 12-1, and the 7 has an overlay of like a little over 5-2 to 4-1. As far as the par zones, par numbers go, the 7 and the 4 show the best par numbers. And then as far as C-zone numbers go, all of them, but the 3 and 5 show some C-zone numbers.
Yeah, plenty of scratches in here to kind of change the way the race could have played out. Looking at here, Terry, most everybody wants to be middle or back. The 5 horse, the first time we've seen the NC today, Colette's Spirit. Good friend of mine's sister, Colette, she's passed, so God rest her soul. But that one hasn't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line in its recent races. Everything else is kind of tilted towards the right a little bit. So that favors horses that I'll be in the front. In the front, we will find the 12 horse, Black Diamond Girl, which is typically a closer, Terry, Black Diamond Rain. So that is what we call a left arrow horse. Of the 2 speed horses, the 7 horse is the one that wants to lead. The 9 horse can get there too, but look at all this pace, Terry. There's a lot of late speed in here, so maybe having a little bit of late race endurance could help out. Little late luck does have a little late legs in there, Terry. Dune Jumper and has some late legs. They're all kind of in the same class with each other. This is shaping up to be an extremely competitive race. You look at it on paper, look at you have right here, all horses except 3 of them are within 4 points on the total pace. In other words, anything could happen in this race, Terry, and somehow we only disagreed on one horse.
Yeah, that's true. But I like that number 12, Black Diamond Rain. My first pick finished third versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and switches a high percentage winning jockey. And she has a good workout on November 1st. And so number 7 is my second pick, Bay and Gold. She finished 5th in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like the 1 as my third pick, Little Late Luck. She
Little
finished
Late
second.
Luck. It's a rapper because all rappers start with little.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, she finished second in her race before the last race at this distance and drops in class. And then I like 11 Doom Jumper as my long shot. She ran second versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And I have no bets in this race.
I, too, like the 12 and the 7 as my top 2 picks, Terry. We have a lot of agreement today. The last time we had a lot of agreement, it worked out pretty well for us. I like the 12, did run the best speed figure last time out. Going to drop a few pounds today with the jockey. Does have a pretty brisk workout sense, so I think you're going to see more quickness out of that horse. They're going to need to be quick on that outside with a pretty competitive start. Bay and Gold, third start after a layoff. The third in the 3-race cycle was by far her best in the only other third time after a layoff. Little Doyle ran better pace numbers from across the board in its last race, and another one that should be part of the mix early on. Finally, Dune Jumper, much better late performance in her last. It's another horse that indicates it's going to have some improved fitness today. Trifecta 7, 9, 12, 7, 12, 4, 7, 9, 11, 12 on the back end of that trifecta for me, Mr. Terry. I think we have enough time, you think, to do
Yeah, I do.
All right, so let's get going on to race number 6 as we make our way through the middle part of the card in this 10-race card in Ben Salem today. What are they running for here?
Okay, it's back up to 7 furlongs, claiming race 5,000 with a purse of 18,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races since May 13th.
Now they're making it easy for you on this Monday, Terry.
They are, yes.
I'm going to have to file a complaint with HR over there. 7 furlongs again. We talked about early speed. This probably has the most prominent post position bias out of any of the distances that Parx. Huge inside 3 edge. So if you got a little bit of inside speed, you wear the red 1, the black and white 2, or the blue 3. You got a good shot. Any of those going to get out of the gates early?
You never know. I mean, they all show some speed there, but the 7 and the 4 has the most speed. But who knows who's going to get there first? The 1 has a nice overlay of about 8 to 5, 10 to 1, and the 2 has an overlay of 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. Par numbers of the 1, 2, and 8 show the best par numbers. And then as far as the C zones, there's no C zones because that 9 got scratched.
All right, so let's look at the race shape over here for race number 6 to get an inclination of who. Well, 3 that want to be, the 8 wants to be on the lead. The 5 can be on the lead or sit in second place and be patient if it wants. The 9, again, tilted pretty heavily towards closers, Terry. That should favor the 8, 5, or 9 if they can get out to the front and run comfortable fractions. Looks like the EP horse, the 5, has the best chance to do that. 8's down here a little bit, so you might have to hustle too much. The 9 is not lead dependent, so the 8 might be the odd person out or odd horse out in that scenario. Late speed belongs to the, if I click the right button, the 1 horse, the Angry Man, along with Sophos. Mischievous Jones, the 3 closers, they're right there, Terry, so they should do what they're supposed to do. Our total pace does favor the Angry Man. Who is that, Terry? Mischievous Jones, right up there. They're both considerably better than the next group, so pace says either the 1 or the 3. One of the 2 closers wins this race. Terry, what do you think?
I like the number 6 horse, Rudy Rod. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The 3, Mischievous Jones, is my second choice, finished in the money in over 50% of his starts at Parx Racing and drops in class today. I like the 8 as my 3rd pick, Hidden Promise, won his last race at Parx Racing by 8 1/4 lengths and has a high percentage winning jockey. And number 4 is my long shot. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he has the highest last race speed rating. I'm going to also skip this race as far as making a bet.
I won't skip making a bet. but I'm also going to go with the 6-horse Rudy Rod. Well, my son's name is Rudy. I had to put him in there. Last time out, that horse had to run really wide around the track and still closed hard. And despite going wide, the early race numbers were improved. Number 4, Sophos, was the top last race speed figure horse in here. Terry held its speed longer. So when you look on the past performances, you see that the 1 or the 2 went farther out into the stretch. This is a Charles angle. So you show a horse that showed more speed last time out and then cuts back in distance. It's been a winning combination for Charles. Maybe it's a winning combination for Sophos. Hidden Promise, the 2-horse, went wire to wire in its last race and gained strength. When you look at the pace numbers, it went like 80, 82, 86. So it gained strength from start to finish. And what's incredible about that race, Terry, is its final time was 4 seconds faster than its prior start. So that horse found something in its last race. And then finally, the Angry Man. So left arrow horse in there, Terry. Top total pace by 6 points over everybody else. Pretty big overlay, as we see on the screen up in here as well. Does get that rail edge and the highest par plus. Maybe we should have the 1 at the front and not at the back, Terry. Trifecta 4, 6, 8 with the 4, 6 with the 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And it does look like they're about to load for race number 2. So let's rewind back to race number 2, Terry. See what we got cooking here. A little bit of difference. This Terry wasn't copying my picks. He's got the 7-horse, which right now is 5-1. I have the 4-horse, 9-5. 4-horse was 10-1 morning line. The 7-horse is, so are we still getting a little bit of value? You're still getting a little bit of value on the 4. About even odds right now, according to the simulation on the 7-horse. Where else do we have a little bit of value in there? That looks like about it, Terry. According to our pace numbers, that 4-horse should be the one that gets the lead. We'll see if that's indeed how it plays out, although the 1 and the 3 should keep it some company in there. Looks like they're all set, ready to go. The 3-horse is shaking its head. He doesn't really want to race, or he's a little bit amped up, that 3-horse. They're going to get him to settle. Looks like they can. Not yet. Yeah, he's going to get off to a bad start. You knew that was coming, huh?
Yeah.
And indeed he did. And now the jockey does what I can ever understand why they do that, Terry. Why they rush up. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense.
No, it takes all the energy out of them.
Yeah, just let them come out and see if everybody else burns maybe. But in any case, I know the 3 is not going to be a part of our pick 4s, Terry. Right now, the 1-horse, this lady is the law, as they all are in every home. And there's no question about that. She's the law right now up on the lead. The 4-horse sitting right off to the outside. They ran a slower opening quarter than in race number 1 at 24-1. Still probably a little bit on the quicker side for these level of horses. The 2-horse right now sitting nicely in 3rd. Terry 7 in 4th as the 2-horse gets a good ground saving trip. It's like the 5-horse is in 5th place. Then the 6, and then 3 horses moved its way up to compete with the 6 for last place in there. They come around the turn. The 4-horse has taken over the lead from the 1-horse. The 1-horse is completely done. Question is who's going to run down that 4, because it's got probably a 7-8 length lead over the 2-horse, who's next up in line. The 5-horse on the rail starting to make its move past the 2-horse. Perhaps on that outside, the 3-horse that got that really bad break, Terry, has found its way into probably going to finish 2nd after all that bad start. Might have been your winner, Terry, if not for that bad break, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, so the 4-horse is going to walk away with this race. The question is who's going to finish in 2nd. Looks like it's going to be a battle between the 4-horse is winning like Secretariat right now. The jockey hasn't asked for anything from that horse yet.
No, he really hasn't. So
the reins are loose. So the 4 comes home your winner. And then the 3 and the 6, I think, were next.
All righty.
And that brings us off to the next race, Terry. So 4-3. And then we move on to, I think the 3-horse probably would have made that race close, if not for the stuff right there, right?
That's right. So, all right.
I'm going to ask you, please, what do you need me for, Tatham? Let me know what you need, my brother. We're always here to help. Terry will let you know who his best bet is. He told you it was the 6-horse in race 3, right?
That's not my best bet. No.
Oh, is that coming up yet?
Yeah, it is coming up in I think the 8th race. So,
all right. So what are we going to do now? Race 7, right?
Yeah, it's 6 furlongs, claiming $10,000 claiming price, first 26,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since August 13th. Claiming races for 8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
And at 6 furlongs, typically what you're looking for is tactical speed. So stalkers, all the post positions play fair from 1 through 7. Maybe a little bit of an edge if you're on the outside. If you're a Buffalo girl on the outside, plenty of horses in this race. We have a 10-horse field, Terry, and all the speed is to the inside for the most
That's
part.
right. The 2 shows the most speed, with the 1 coming up next. As far as your overlays go, that 3 has a really nice overlay from what is that, 7 to 2 to 10 to 1. The 4,
Mhm.
another nice overlay from 7 to 2 to
Is that
15
the
to
Ric
1.
Flair horse? Who is it? Because I said so. Was that Ric Flair, the
I,
wrestler?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it? I
As
mean,
I
if there's any
said,
WWE fans, Jared, I know you know the answer to that question because I said so. Woo! Ric Flair. Anyway, go ahead, Jerry. Sorry about you.
that's all right. And then the 11 has some from 2 to 1 to 8 to 1. As far as the par numbers go, that 11 has a really nice par number with the 4. And then all of them have good C-zone numbers, but the 3.
And guess which 2 horses we don't have? The 11 or the 4, Terry, with the big overlays and the par plus carry.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes, we use all this data just so we can ignore it, which we don't really. Like sometimes we do. Look at this race shape, Terry. Again, totally tilted to the right. So most of these horses want to be middle of the back. Should really give a race advantage to the horses that are up to the front. Does look like that 2-horse systemic risk. It's a little bit quicker than Rolls Royce Joyce. It's a little bit quicker than Pot Tiffany. A little bit quicker than Flashing Diamond. It does look like they might string out as the race starts early on. That should, again, give the early advantage to the 2, the 7, and the 9. Looking at late legs, which might not come into that big of a play. You do have Peace, Love, and Karma, that 3-horse, the closer, with a 14, 13-point advantage over the rest. That means if it's within 3 lengths or so coming out of the stretch, could make up a ton of ground at the end, although I'm not sure with this group it's going to get the pace that it needs to close as much as it would like. And then your total pace, Peace, Love, and Karma, the closer, scoring out the best, although I would probably lean a little bit more towards the 2 speed horses in here and the 2 and 5 based upon the race shape. Terry, what do you think?
I like Peace, Love, and Karma. She finished in the money in her last 5 starts, so she's very competitive and has a high percentage winning jockey. The 12, Glory Dia, is my second choice. She switches to high percentage winning trainer who wins 34% of the race in the first race after claiming a horse. She switches to high percentage winning jockey as well, and she has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 1, the Flashing Diamond, is my third pick. Won her last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 7 as my long shot. She had a disappointing finish in her last race after experiencing trouble during the race, but switches to high percentage winning trainer and jockey. My 50-cent pick 4 is what I'm going to bet. I'm going to use the 312 with the 2, 3, 4, 5, with the 3, 5, with the 2, 6, 8.
For me, Terry, I like the 1-horse, Flashing Diamond. Who doesn't like Flashing Diamonds, Terry? Returned into form in its last race. If you look, the horse, like, if you look, it has the most, probably at least some of the best back class in the race. And then it kind of hit a dull spell. And then last race, the horse woke up. And a lot of times with horses like that, when you're looking through the past performances, don't sleep on those horses because you think it's going to slip back into that poorer form it showed. A lot of times those horses, when they turn the light back on, it stays on for a little bit. And then what's also interesting to me on this horse is Frankie Pennington stays here instead of on the 9-horse. You had probably a choice here. Glory Dia, first off the claim for Jamie Ness, and he's going to put Ruben Severa on that horse, his go-to jockey. Jamie Ness wins a lot, 26% of the time, but he wins a lot more. First off the claim, 34%. That is what we term an alpha angle, Terry. Peace, Love, and Karma. Very strong late rally in its last. We saw it has a tremendous late race advantage over the rest of this field. Barry Meadows special from his book, The Skeptical Handicapper. 3 consecutive speed figure increases, looking to make it 4. Again, if the horse last 3 speed figures are up, that's a 15% plus winner. And that Parx 3 times out with a win, a place, and a show. Finally, Rolls Royce Joyce. Horse is getting incrementally better from race to race. Showed a lot of improvement through the first half mile last out. And guess what? Today, Paco Lopez is going to ride.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and you know that guy finds a way to win.
Yep.
139.12 over the 3.5, over the 135, over the 2, 6, and 13 for my late pick 4. Terry, 3 races to go in that pick 4. That's going to start off at race number 8.
Yep, a 6 furlong race. It's a maiden race, $40,000 price. Purse $40,000 for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, 2-year-olds.
So the anything can happen variety here. Again,
That's
6
it.
furlongs does favor tactical speed. Post positions 1 through 7. Play fair, 8 and out. Gets a tiny, tiny bonus. Terry, we do have data for race number 8, but the fact is these are lightly raced horses. So the data is, you got to kind of, I don't want to say disregard it, but you can't put as much weight in it as you would with horses with more weight.
That's right. Although what the data does show is that 5 should break out of there and get to that quarter pole first, with the 3 running second to that quarter pole. The 3 has the best overlays, about 2 to 5 to, I don't know, was that just over?
About 3 to 5 versus 1 to 5. Yeah, it's going to be heavily bet.
And there is no other overlays that I see in here. And then as far as par numbers go, the 3 and the 3 and the 5 have the best ones, followed up by the 2. And then the 4 shows the only really C-zone number that you can see there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that means just that 3 horse is going to be a huge favorite. Terry, we got a balanced race here. The 6 and 7 haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader yet at the finish line. 3, 5, 2, 4. So basically a 4-horse field from that respect. Kind of wants speed in 4-horse fields if that's how it turns out to be. Those 3, the 2, the 5, and the 3, they're pretty competitive out of the gate. So maybe the horse with the most late speed advantage, that horse, that's Twilight Dancer. I mean, 13 points clear. And then if you look at the total pace on that horse, it's 11 points clear. Should win by 2 lengths. That's what the total pace figures say. That's what all the other numbers say, Terry. It's going to be probably 1 to 5, 2 to 5, somewhere in those lines. Is there any way it can be beat?
Well, maybe, but I think the 3 is going to win this race, and it was not my pick of the day. The next race is my pick of the day. But anyway, the 3, Twilight Dancer, ran second versus Sooner in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starter. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Kohlers, the number 5, he ran third versus Tupper in his last race as the favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 37% of the times when he brings this beaten favorite back to race again, and drops in class today. That's my second pick. My third pick is Bad Mr. Brown, the 4. He has high percentage winning trainer, jockey, and a bullet workout on November 8th. And then number 2, Face the Facts, my long shot, ran second versus Similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has a trainer, wins 23% of the 2-year-old races he has an entry in. No bet for me in this race.
Christopher D'Souza back. He likes race 8, the 4-horse, to win in place with the 4, the 6, and the 3. We missed you last week, my brother. Hopefully all is well in your universe. I like the 5-horse in here, Terry, not necessarily because I think it's going to win, but because you got to try to beat a horse that's going to be 1 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for the pick for the day. All right, let's go. That's going to be your pick of the day right there, that 4-horse. I got the 5-horse in there. Terry has Bad Boy. Shouldn't it be Bad Leroy Brown? Isn't that how that song went, Terry?
Yep. Bad Leroy Brown.
The baddest man in the whole damn town. And, you know, Terry had a jersey on the back, and it said Leroy Brown on the name tag. So I think the 5-horse is going to give that horse a crack. You know, they must think they have a decent horse there. It is running even though this is a maiden race, it's running at the lowest level of its career. Last time out, it was the favorite in a non-graded stakes race for $102,000. Good chance to be the pace setter here, Terry. Why not? Let's give that one a chance to upset the 3-horse, who's probably going to win by 40 lengths. Either of his first 2 races would win this race. Does have that total pace figure advantage by 11. The odds are going to be really low. Face the Facts, the 2-horse improved enough in its second start compared to the first one to maybe give the 3 all it can take, especially if the 2-horse takes another step forward. And then I'm going to go with a long shot, the 7, Harrison C in there. It's the only horse in here I think that's going to make its second start. A lot of times horses have giant improvement from race 1 to race 2. Trifecta 2, 3, 5 with the 3, 5 with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Sort of hoping the 3 runs off the board and we can collect a big trifecta if that happens, a backdoor trifecta extraordinaire. 2 races to go, starting with the first of the late daily double. Terry, that would be, if my math is correct, race 9.
It is. It's a 7 furlong optional claiming race, a $25,000 claiming price. As you can see, Creative Copy is in there for a $25,000 claiming price. Purse is $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $25,000, or which have never won 3 races.
I'm curious why Parx does that. Some tracks do put that
I don't know.
repetitive, like how many times they have to win in there.
Yeah.
7 furlongs, again, early speed is an advantage. It is probably the most lopsided bias in all of Parx, with the inside 3 just having a major advantage over the rest of the field, Terry. So if in race number 7, you can find a horse that you like, that you can back, that has some early speed, you got a shot. You mentioned Creative Copy was in for a price, but there's your horse on the inside 3 with some pace, perhaps not the most pace, though.
Yeah, they all show some early speed except for that 2 and that 6, but the 5 has the most of early speed, followed by 1. The 3 shows a nice little overlay from about 2 to 5 to like 6 to 5, and then the par numbers. The 3 has a really nice par number. All of them have good C zones except for the 2 and 3.
Yeah, and then as far as the race shape in race number 9 goes, we see here pretty balanced race, a little bit leaning, but not deal killer to the front runners in there. The front runners should be, when the gates open, dial her up, although it's a P horse. So I don't think it's going to want that lead there. I think you're probably going to see the 4 horse take charge, or maybe the 1 Creative Copy. We did see that in the simulations. Those 2 horses really are more lead dependent than the 3, and the 3 is really not going to be that comfortable on the lead. So watch it go to the front today, Terry. Kisses for Emily is your top late pace horse. That's your 6 horse. If it can get off to a good break, because it does like to be on the front and utilize those late legs, a horse could be formidable, although its early speed says it could be in the back. And if it likes to win from the front, it may not work out. And then Dial Her Up does have the top total pace by 8 points over the next closest horse, being Comedy Act, Terry. A little bit of a gap down in here, but everybody else for second and third looks pretty competitive. The 3 horse looks like the one to beat, Terry, and you're going to do so.
Yeah, my pick of the day is the 5 Comedy Act. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another horse. Dial Her Up, the 3 is my second choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating, and a high percentage winning jockey. Kisses for Emily, the 6 is my third choice. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 4, Denali Ray. She has finished in the money in 4 out of 9 starts at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. She's my long shot. I'm going to play $10 win in place on the 5 with a $5 exact of 5-3.
And that's your best bet of the day, Terry, the 5?
It is, yes.
Comedy Act. There you go, Tay, from the 5 horse in race number 9. Christopher, you said that you have a best bet coming up in this race, and we still owe you some coffee, my man. I haven't seen you in my inbox yet. Again, gtsrichb@gmail.com. gtsrichb@gmail.com. Is it not going through? Because I've had some folks tell me before that they've had difficulty emailing me there. If so, if you have Facebook, if you could reach out to us on Facebook at Horse Race, the number 2 day, kindly hit us up there too in the, I don't know, what do they do? Comment, you like private chat or whatever it is. And I don't really use those things. I probably should. But you can also, message us on Facebook, and we'll get you that gift certificate. I like the 3 horse, Terry, in here. Dial Her Up, baby. Let's dial her up in this race. Top last race speed figure by 7 points, Terry. Again, according to Andrew Beyer, if it's 3 points or more, it's a horse that you absolutely have to circle in your picks, especially when the horse is making its 3rd start after a layoff, and huge improvement in its early half-mile numbers last out. Comedy Act, your bet of the day, Terry. It is running at its lowest level in the last 10 races. And last time out, had some excuses. So take out those excuses, and maybe it does beat the 3 horse. Creative Copy, the 1 horse, can't ignore that rail. It's another horse that's making it start at the lowest level of its career. Horse has been off since April, so maybe I would have put it a little bit higher, but only a couple of workouts in there. Would have liked to seen a better one, although the last time the horse had a little time off, kind of lightly raced and came back and ran second with light workouts too. So maybe it doesn't really need much. And then finally, Kisses for Emily, a really good friend of ours for the show, wonderful supporter. Trevor McCarthy and the entire Davis family have been really supportive of us. We always want Trevor to do well. He's coming in to ride this one. It's a closer. It is a great fit for Trevor because he likes to save some horse. So I would expect the horse to be in the middle of the pack and make a late run. 1-3-5 with the 3-5 with the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7 is my trifecta. Race number 9, 20 to win for the pick of the day on the 1 horse. Creative Copy. So there you go, Tafum. Are we going to go double or nothing on the coffee here, or what are we going to do? Because I still need your address there, Chris, so we can get that out to you, my friend. Again, if you can't get to me for whatever reason at gtsrichb@gmail, please hit us up on the message board in Facebook. Last race of the day, because we don't want to be, we have to be man of our words, right, Terry?
That's right.
If you don't have your word, what do you have?
Yeah. So anyway, this last race is 6 furlongs, claiming price of $7,500, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 4 races.
Going to make it easy on Terry to close the show with the conditions. Again, make it easy on me too. I have this one memorized. I don't even have to look it up anymore, Terry. 6 furlongs, tactical speed does best. You want a stalker, though, about 33, 34%, go wire to wire. Post positions play fair, a little bit of an edge on the outside, Terry. If you wear the 8 in race number 10, you do have a bunch from 8 and out, so they might have a little bit of an edge. And that's pretty much where most of the speed is, too, out there.
Yep, there's several horses. The 10, 9, 13 all show some speed with 1 inside horse, the 2 showing a little bit of speed also. And then the 2 has a nice overlay of just about, I don't know, what is that, 4 to 5 or something like that. Mm-hmm. to 5 to 2, and then the 12 shows a nice overlay from 4 to 1 to 12 to 1. Par numbers 2, 12, and 1 show the best par numbers, and then several of these have good C-zone numbers.
So Christopher D'Souza says he's in for double or nothing, Terry. Are you in or are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid.
You're not afraid of the rematch?
Nope.
All right, so Terry's in. Again, Christopher, kindly reach out to me, my man. As far as our race shape is concerned, for the last time today in race number 10, we have a bunch of horses pretty well balanced, surprisingly, in here. So you got about half that want to be forward, half that want to be middle back. That race should favor the best trip, Terry. Vanishing Faith, PC type, could be in the back. I do think you're looking here at the 9 or the 2. Most likely pace setters to perhaps the 7 will be in that mix. Late speed could be a big factor. I think it'll be a really big factor. More Ransom does have some late speed. Cinnamon Dream, another one. You have the 12. Again, a lot of horses with some similar numbers, Terry. To close the show, they're going to be a very competitive race in here, Terry, although it does look like the 2 and the 12 have a pretty good advantage over the rest of the field. So maybe in this deep field, you can get it down to the 2 or the 12. Did you put the 2 or the 12 in your picks? You did start with one of them.
I sure did. I put the 2 in there, Marion Grace. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and her early speed running style will help her chances. Number 6, Cinnamon Dream. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. My second choice. My third choice is number 8, More Ransom. She ran second versus Similar in her last race. I like the 1 as my long shot, Fairy Dreams. Finished third versus Similar on an all-weather track in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm out of money, so no bets for me.
All out of money, but hopefully not out of luck, Terry. I got the 2 horse on top 2. That one is Marianne Grace, one of those horses that's making the career start at the lowest level. And look at that par plus score in there, Terry. 64% chance it's going to run better than par. The next up in there is 13, the Parisian Vibe. These trainers and owners, they put these horses as also eligibles for a reason. They want in this race for whatever reason. Maybe because the horse has some early speed, and maybe because they're going to put Paco Lopez on there today. And if Paco has the lead in the lane, his horse is going to get wide, real wide. And I don't mean wide up the track either. Number 6, Cinnamon Dream. First race following a short rest. First off, the layoff record's pretty solid for that one in there. It does have a maintenance workout in between starts. Then finally, number 12, Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn. Perhaps one of the most controversial lines in all of movie history. Was considerably better in its first half mile. In its last race, should be sharp again early with a 3 furlong workout between starts and the right distance for this horse. In the money 70% of the time, 10 races, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 3/3. Trifecta 2-6-13 with the 2-6, with the 2-6-8, 12, and 13. So you think about what different times we live in when, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Like when you were like, what, about 42?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're considerably different times, right? How the language has changed. And can you imagine those people today with like the music lyrics and the stuff that's on TV nowadays, what they would have been like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
They would have been apoplectic.
Yep.
All right, here are our full picks for today at Parx. Of course, if you like what you saw, we want to say give us a thumbs up, like Philip Perkins, Batico Ricardo Ruiz Padilla, Rebecca Pollard Rhodes. Thank you for the thumbs up. Rebecca always giving us some love. We appreciate that, Rebecca. Ures Chaifor, Alessania Towel giving us some thumbs up on Facebook. We appreciate that. Another one where I can't read the script. I'm sorry, because my eyes are just horrible. They're using cursive. If it's not like block lettering and bold, Rich can't see it. If you do agree with them, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube and Facebook. It helps us with their algorithms. Again, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, tune in for a great show. Going to be with Margot Hudson. It's going to tell you all about how they fly these tremendous horses across the country. And then, of course, our free track tonight is Remington Park. A lot of good picks there today, I feel like, Terry. So you'll find that down in the description below. Tafum, if you can do Remington Park where you are, make sure you pay attention to that. That is, again, in the link in the description below, down at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Whew, Terry, any final thoughts before you and I get out of here today?
Yeah, I'd sure like everybody that's watching this that haven't subscribed to YouTube to subscribe to our channel and give us hit the little bell so you get all the programs we have. Give us a likes and thumbs up and share it with your family and friends. And then go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and X, and give us likes and thumbs up there. It really helps with our algorithms.
And again, as I mentioned, I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, have a great rest of the week.
Indeed. Well, Terry will be back tomorrow. We'll do Parx again tomorrow. Charles and I will get back on Wednesday for Churchill. On Thursday, we'll probably do Aqueduct once again. If you get a chance to today, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. You'll see there's a lot of great content in here. I'm sorry for Tom's picture, but hey, he put some great content in there too. Just kidding. Tom always has the freshest haircuts of all of us. You can help support the show there too. You see up here on the link, HRT gear. Like Terry sporting some HR. Well, you got the Golden Gate stuff on, but
yeah,
you got the green shirt, number 3.
Yeah.
Number 5. Yes, indeed. You can get that over at horseracingtoday.net. Kindly support the show by heading on over there. If you can't tell, I'm trying to kill time because I think race number 3, well, I don't think we're going to have enough time to kill there, folks. So as Terry mentioned, good luck today with the rest of your day. Again, our full picks for the card are right here. No matter what you're doing on this Money Monday, we certainly hope that you have God's blessings, God's favor, and every single thing you do, Terry, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. Look forward to joining you again on Tuesday. Have a fantastic day.